Morphling is the most contested carry hero in Dream League in 7.33D. He is either banned or picked in every single game. Not only that, he is picked in the first phase every single time. This video will cover why Morphling is suddenly the strongest carry in the game. Morphling has very minimal amounts of counter matchups. He is usually picked second in the first phase by the team who has the first pick. This is because after picking Morphling, they have 3 bans to cover the weaknesses of the pick. Usually, these bans are heroes like Anti-Mage, Phantom Lancer, Slark, or Naga Siren. These are the only carry matchups that Morphling struggles against because they can drain his mana, which results in him not being able to use Attribute Shift. Mid heroes like OD aren't really popular at the moment, so there isn't a hero from the mid role that actually counters Morphling. Other than that, he dumpsters and outscales every other carry hero in the game. Not only that, Morphling can be flexed and be played in the mid lane as well, so first picking him still leaves some options open in regard to the overall draft. Morphling outscales every other carry hero because of his Aghanim Scepter. His Ags allows him to not only steal 20% of the enemy's overall stats, but also steal stat resistance, attack speed, or spell amplification based on the enemy's primary attribute. This basically means that if he uses Replicate on an agility hero, not only will he steal 20% of their attack speed and damage, he will also steal another 70 attack speed on top of that. This cripples any agility hero in the game. Other than that, Morphling is amazingly good against universal heroes that have plagued the patch. Universal heroes are good because they get damage from each attribute. Morphling's Ags basically steals 40% of their overall stats. This makes a significant difference in terms of the damage that universal heroes output. Morphling is the solution to universal heroes. Since 7.33, universal heroes are being picked at literally every position. Windranger and Magnus were being played as carries, but with the advent of another 20% stat steal on Morphling's Ags for universal heroes and the nerfs on the stats of these heroes in 7.33D, these heroes are nowhere to be seen anymore. Morphling's level 15 talent lets him have Replicate for 36 seconds. At level 18, the downtime on Replicate is only 24 seconds. Fights are usually over in that duration, so basically, he kind of has 100% uptime on Replicate. The solution to Replicate previously was buying Linkins, but now Linkins can be popped through BKB. So it's way easier to pop it and then use Replicate reliably. With Ags out of the way, let's look at Morphling's laning phase. This hero is very hard to kill and bully out of the lane because of Attribute Shift. Not only that, he comes into the lane with very high base damage thanks to the Attribute Shift and denies a lot of creeps. Other than that, he is very good against Vanguard buying offlaners because of Adaptive Strike. The current build is basically maxing Adaptive Strike and spamming it on the enemy offlaner and forcing him on the back foot. Other than that, Morphling's build-up usually involves either Cornucopia or Morbid Mask, both of which allow him to sustain in lane and stay there for a longer time. Speaking of sustainability, Lotus basically heals Morph up to full HP because he can shift down his HP and then use it. In short, Morphling's laning phase is really strong. Another mind-blowing thing about Morphling is that his normal item progression gets rid of basically all of his weaknesses. Morphling loves buying items like Linkins and Manta. They give him value stats and also help in survivability. Morphling only ever dies if he's unable to shift his attributes to strength. This is usually only possible if he's either silenced or disabled. Sounds pretty simple, but the problem is, this hero has a solution for everything. For direct disables like duels, Doom, and Hex, he can just buy a Linkins as his first item. If he has to worry about silences or roots, he can just buy a Manta style. The best part is that both these items actually benefit Morphling in a lot of ways. The stats from Linkins allow him to gain more agility from attribute shift, which results in more attack speed, armor, and damage. The HP and mana regen help him in spamming his abilities and trading efficiently. Not only that, but now Linkins gives you damage as well. Manta is always a good item on range heroes because of the stats it gives, and the active in itself helps you farm faster with illusions. The defensive aspect of both these items is amazing for Morphling. Let's say you manage to somehow lock Morphling down with a disable like Axe Call or Chrono. Well, guess what? Morphling's shard allows him to use attribute shift while he's disabled. He can use that in any form of disable as long as he's not muted by a hex or silence, so good luck killing him. Not only that, he can also buy a BKB if required. Basically, imagine Morphling with Linken's, Manta, Aghanim's, BKB, and Shard. Quite literally impossible to kill him. If you think about his item progression, he's kind of like those universal heroes that just buy Linken's, Manta, Scotty and do insane amounts of damage. Except that, this guy can also cripple other heroes with his Ags. Most carries have scalability issues. They fall off at some point, but Morphling? Oh no. This hero has one of the best scaling in the game. He can buy items like Daedalus, Swift Blink, Satanic, Scotty, and with his Adaptive Strike, he bursts down heroes very easily, even in the late game. This hero actually gets stronger with time and does not care about his core matchup because the stronger his opponent gets, the more he benefits because of his Aghanim's Replicate. Morphling's itemization has different options. You don't always have to buy Linken's as your first item. Pros are only buying Linken's as first item if there is a target disabled that you can't react to. For example, if the enemy has Legion Commander, Doom, or Spirit Breaker, then buying Linken's as your first item is good. If the enemy does not have any direct stuns that you can't react to or are scared of, and then buying Linken's is a waste of gold. You are better off buying Manta. Manta is almost always a good buy. You can't go wrong with buying a Manta in every game. Usually, Manta is either your first item or second. If you go Linken's first item, then Manta is your second item. And if you skip Linken's, then you should buy Falcon Blade for the mana regen, and after that, Manta is usually your first big item. Once you have your defense set up, you go for Aghanim's. Usually, it's going to be your second or third item depending upon whether you bought Linken's or not. Morphling's biggest power spike is his Aghanim's purchase. The reason behind that has already been discussed earlier. After your Aghanims, you basically get luxury items. It could be Satanic, Daedalus, Scotty, any of these, or even BKB depending upon the situation. For Morphling's skill build, you start with Attribute Shift at level 1. Then you take 2 points in your Adaptive Strike on level 2 and 3. Adaptive Strike is your damage in lane without compromising on your position. Morphling has a very short attack range, so his right clicks aren't that reliable in the laning phase. Not only that, you need something against Vanguard, so Adaptive Strike helps with that. At level 4, you take Waveform, followed by another point in Attribute Shift at level 5. The extra Attribute Shift threshold helps you in farming faster. After that, you get Adaptive Strike at level 6, Waveform at level 7, and Ultimate at level 8. Then you max your Adaptive Strike, followed by maxing Waveform, and then maxing your Attribute Shift. 2 points in Attribute Shift are enough in the early game. For the talents, you should take the Waveform range at level 10 because it helps you be more mobile since Morphling has a small range. Having extra gap close helps with the kite. At level 15, you should take the plus 16 second duration talent on Replicate because without that talent, this hero is bad. Extra duration on the Aghanim's Replicate is super crucial. At level 20, you should take the Waveform attacks targets as it allows you to clear waves faster and also finish off foes that are escaping. At level 25, you should take the cooldown reduction on the Waveform as it will help you in going in and out of fights better. Unless IceFrog decides to nerf Morphling's Ags, we will be seeing a lot of Morphling in the Bally Major. If you are interested in private coaching, you can join my Discord linked in the description. Please make sure to subscribe and like the video for more high quality content like this. Do let me know in the comments if you have any feedback. Otherwise, have a nice day and good luck with your games.